So you sprained your ankle. We follow R.I.C.E, right? We rest, ice, compress, elevate. Wrong. We do not do that. Even the guy that came up with the acronym R.I.C.E has since come out and discredited it. He knows that it's an outdated approach, and he knows that resting, icing, compression, and elevation for ankle sprains or any injury of sorts does not work. So what do? What's better? Although not very sexy, we use the acronym M.I.L.D. Mobilize, inflame, load, and then don't brace it. So what Mobilize means is we want to move that ankle or that sprained ligament or joint in multiple directions. Everybody's hurt themselves before and they go to rest and then they lock up. Those joints lock up. We want to make sure those joints don't lock up. And the other reason we want to mobilize things, we want the mobilization to act as a fluid pump to get the inflammation to move in and out so that we can get that healing response. The second one, Inflame. Just like we were talking about the inflammation, we're going to use dry needles, we're going to use scraping techniques. Although very painful in the very beginning or very painful at the time, we are trying to decrease the pain down the road and trying to create that healing response by increasing the inflammation to those specific joints, ligaments, tendons, whatever is injured at that time. Now, the next one is load. So we want to load the joint and tissues. So the SAID principle, specific adaptation to impose demands. We have to teach the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons that they need to respond to loads in certain directions. If we never teach them how to react to those loads, they're never going to be good at it. So we need to start loading those tissues, those joints very quickly. And the last one, don't brace. I can't tell you how many times we've taken kids out of boots, braces, taken them off of crutches, things like that. If they are very severe, if we have broken bones, yes, we can use those. But most of the times with ankles, with ligaments or tendons or muscle injuries, we don't want to brace. We want to get them mobilizing on their own, loading on their own, and then we also, we will tape and things like that for athletic events, but typically no braces, no boots. We want your body to learn how to load or handle load on its own.